Bonjour and hello, everybody. This is Shaheer Sheikh, and I am back with the two famous people alongside me for the AI Biostats, etc. podcast. And we'll, of course, get to our not guests, but the usual hosts. Um, but before that, I'd like to quickly point out that we have some very exciting topics today, which include the recent launch of model from Claude, which is called, I guess, Fable 5, if I'm not wrong, Darko and Prida. And of course, it's in itself a very lengthy project topic itself. We can talk a ton about it. We can talk about the experiments that we'll be doing. But along with that, and there's a few people streaming in already. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're also going to talk about what we are internally calling limitless Z. Now, the project justifies itself to the word limitless. I understand it's a big word and it probably needs a lot of explanation. We would be happy to do that in a very fun way with the two usual people. Thank you for joining, Darko, and thank you very much, Bruno, for the time. Um, how are you both doing?
And well, in addition to being the executive producer of the show, I think having you more and more as the third voice is going to be fun. So when you feel like it, join in anytime. Sometimes you sort of descend in the middle without warning, which is fun as well. Is it fable or fable? How do we say it in English?
I guess it's Fable, but Darko is going to confirm that. It could
we
be. I,
None of
I'm going
us
to.
is Native American or English speaker, but
I think it's actually Fable because there was a video game that I played a long time ago. It was called the same. There was a video game called Fable. It was actually one of my
okay.
favorite video games, and uh, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's how it's pronounced. By the way, everyone can probably see my red eyes, and I look a little bit like a zombie. So sorry about that. I'm actually not dangerous and not a zombie. And Bruno, no, no, no.
I heard zombie.
Be, be careful.
I'm I'm
Be
human.
careful.
I'm human.
We're going to be banned. We're going to be banned.
Oh,
It was a joke. Sorry, guys. It was a joke. It's not real. Well, it's real, but
Is,
that
I'm
was a
not going to hurt
surprise.
them.
is it sharp? Is it like sharp? Okay, can you test it? Like, can
That's
you?
What it's
No, but
a
how?
what's it called? So Gurkha. It's not very. Nah, nah, nah.
Oh, it's a Gurkha knife. Okay, it's a Gorkha knife. That's what it's
A
called.
Gurkha, right? So
Gorkha.
my captain in the French army gave it to me when I became a commissioned officer. I was
Oh,
told that when you take it out, blood has to drip.
you have to, right?
So
You have to do something about it. Then do
I
you,
was told that's where there's a little indent here. You can prick your finger because you need to have blood if you take it. But I
for
don't
real?
believe in that stuff, and I'm a
No, you
non-violent person.
no, but it's no violence if you're just like testing the, you know.
I- what is it?
Oh no, nothing. I was joking. You don't have to do that.
All
You
right.
don't have to.
Anyway, we're back to Fable. Back to Fable. Um,
So,
so
I
so
just
so when is the Anthropic IPO, and when is the Fable part of our regular subscription ending, and you have to pay to per token? When is that?
Yeah. I think it's 22nd. Sorry,
For the
22nd
IPO or
June.
for the new plan?
for the
Yeah,
plan.
for the plan. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
it's basically going to be there for like maybe 10 days for everyone who's using it right now, and then people are probably going to have to pay more. I think we're getting back into the reality of, we were getting all these tokens very cheaply.
Yeah.
OpenAI,
Yeah.
Claude, they were giving this to everybody in the world very cheaply, and they're spending tremendous amount of GPU power to
Hmm.
get those models running. So I think we're now going to slowly go back to reality, and they're actually going to charge those tokens. The price is probably going to get up, I think.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be horrible, to be honest. A horrible reality check. I'm just being transparent.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no. I don't think there's going to be like a $20 subscription, and then you can chat all you want until the end of the month. So I think that's going to be past soon.
Be honest, Darko, Bruno, I know you have a point, but to be honest, it would be a shame if a company of Entropic or OpenAI stature would not be able to, provided in that kind of price point, because not everybody is going to be able to subscribe. I mean, I've been using a lot of Opus, right? The Opus model that they had, and I switched to Fable as soon as I saw that 22nd of June window and everything like that. Yeah, it cannot do that yet, Bruno. The moving the air thing that you are able to do, but I'm telling you, it's very fast and it's very good. And that's one reason that it gets consumed so fast. It would probably give you a time limit of, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours, Bruno, but it would get consumed within the first hour, even faster
So
if you're really
when I
use.
tried it, I didn't hit the limit, which surprised me. Or maybe I did actually. I'm not quite sure. It maybe shifted me to Opus 4.8 without really telling me, oh, you hit your limit. But what I noticed is that it refused to do things. I asked for something. He said, no, that's not a good idea, Bruno. That's not what you want. You should do that other thing. That's going to be a waste of token. It didn't say a waste of token, but it implied that. It rejected my prompt essentially and said, I don't think you really want that. That's a that's a
Something.
stupid prompt. Don't have me do that, Bruno. That's what it said essentially.
Well, I actually like that. It's like it's starting to have its own personality and character, and it's not just following instructions. It's actually giving you its opinion. So I kind of liked it. But there is another thing that I heard, that if you were to ask Claude Fable to actually do anything related to LLM engineering, it's
Hmm.
basically going to say, "Hey, this is against our terms." I can't really do much related to LLM and AI
Yeah,
engineering
because
in
it's
that
afraid
sense.
it's going to distillate, right? It doesn't want anybody to distillate or to talk about. You can't even talk about biology. People are
Exactly.
complaining on X, like cancer researcher were saying, "Oh, come on."
I've tested that. I've tested
Yeah,
that. Actually, it was not directly, but it was biology indirectly, because I was working a little bit on the trial results and the movement of stock prices. And what it did was it quietly, not quietly, actually, it did give me an explanation and said that we're going to shift to Opus 4.6 or 7 it was. And because I'm not designed or I have guardrails or something like that, I do not recall the exact statement, but it shifted on its own and it completed the task uh, at a longer. Of course, it took a little longer than what Fable would have took it, but it completed that anyways. But I was a little sad that it did not let me complete it. There are certain run-arounds though. I mean, if you are breaking down the tasks, you're still able to complete that, but you have to. It's a little frustrating, but at the same time,
yeah.
it might
I
have
mean, you know
improved.
me, I don't like guardrail. I feel so annoyed when the machine limits what I'm allowed to do or not do. I really feel very strongly against guardrail. But and in their case, it's it's a beautiful marketing spot to say, "Oh, it's so dangerous." Instead of bragging, say it's amazing. You say, "Oh no, no, we are dangerous." And we're so dangerous, as a matter of fact, that we're not going to give it away only to government and cybersecurity firm. So, so it's humble bragging just before the IPO, and then okay, no, now we can give it to you, but it's so dangerous. Of course, we're going to have to make guardrail. We don't want people to misuse it. So he's so annoying, but so
But
so successful at the same time.
getting a little intrigued by it. You said so the statement, the earlier statement or the earlier news that we saw, that there are certain things that are only visible or only available to
Yeah,
governments and uh, other security organizations. Were they talking
because
about government or were they talking
no,
about in general?
Mythos, right? Mythos was not available. And so they took
Okay.
Mythos and say, oh, Mythos too dangerous. First, it's an humble brag. Instead of saying it's incredibly, it's AGI level. They say, oh, and so they pretend to be very security driven, or we be very ethical. We want to be very careful. But they're actually just bragging before the IPO about how amazing it is. And they don't let people look at it to disagree with that. It's beautiful, right? And then they say, all right, for we now give it to you, people,
Okay.
but it's so dangerous. We're gonna have to put a lot of guardrail. But you're not allowed to be annoyed at the guardrail because we do it for the benefit of humanity. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, it's too dangerous.
I
So
always get too intrigued when we're talking about artificial intelligence and other things involved. So, Darko, this is towards you. I I mean, Bruno, you can also jump in. But do you mean that this is mythos plus the guardrails? That's what Fable is. Is that what you're saying?
That's it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think so. I think so because I kind of agree with Bruno. And if that's true, if this is the marketing stand, the person who actually thought of this too dangerous marketing stunt is really a genius, and they should maybe win a Nobel Prize or something for marketing. I don't know, but
this
uh,
at this valuation, Darko. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but at this kind of valuation, do you think they can afford to do a marketing stunt like that?
well, it seems to be working so far because people actually bought. If that's the case, people bought it. People really speak on the online that this mythos it was very dangerous. And nobody was allowed to have it. And now you have these heavy guardrails added there, so it all kind of kind of aligns with that story.
Here's the thing. I'm too sexy. I'm so sexy, it should be illegal. It's dangerous. So I had to shave my head because otherwise it's not right for you guys. Number one, it's dangerous level. So I decided to shave my head.
It's an
So then,
amazing example. Yes,
okay.
this is the school example of this marketing type.
Now we can breathe in peace. I mean, even now, Bruno, you're probably gonna.
Too sexy.
Yeah,
Too
Yeah.
sexy.
you're dangerous either
It's
way.
dangerous for society. Yeah.
You
So
cannot help it.
Cannot be released as is. No, no.
but
Guardrail. We need guardrails.
in your case, it did not work for us, Bruno. You shaved it, and it doesn't. Yeah, it did not work. So you got to do something else.
Okay. Now, going back to Mythos, I think, being valued, I think it's, by the way, the SpaceX was IPO was today.
It was
And
today
it's
or tomorrow? Oh,
Today,
oh,
it
oh.
was today, actually. It's
So
it's
how did
already
it
online.
go? Nobody tell me anything.
Yeah,
it
I think
went
it
well.
went well. It went like 20-30% up, I think, after the IPO.
Okay, less than I expected. I expected a bigger boost,
Oh, it's
but
2 trillion, Bruno.
huh?
It's two
I
trillion. It's
understand. I
yeah.
understand, but so it went 20% up, and did it stay there after the IPO?
I'm checking
Yes,
that. Speaking.
yes. It went, I think, 30, and then goes down to 20, and then it's in that range, I think.
Okay, all right. So as you know, I might or might not own a little piece of both SpaceX and Anthropic,
You
depending on what's
you
happening with the bankruptcy.
have Anthropic,
Huh?
and yeah, I know you might not have wanted me to disclose, but let me tell you, everybody, Bruno has a lot of Anthropic stocks.
No,
So
no,
if
no, not that. An
you
epsilon, a tiny little piece.
a
Um,
lot of
Now, don't
Anthropic
say
stocks.
that. No, first, it's not true, and second, then people would think you have a lot of money, and they would. No, 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 no. Don't. That's not true. It's not true.
Darko,
Uh,
Darko. I was lying, Darko.
yeah, a tiny little
Okay,
piece.
okay.
I was lying. You believe me, right? I was lying.
Um, I don't know. It's too dangerous.
Too dangerous. Yeah,
Bruno, you need to have security now.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
I
yes.
need. I
You
need
need to
detail. Yeah,
never live without a bodyguard from this moment.
that's my goal. The day I'm rich enough and important enough to be in security, have a security problem. That's it. That's gonna be my goal.
But
A
hey,
lot.
how will you go to podcast then? You will need the security to
From
be in
an
the.
undisclosed location.
Oh yes.
Always undisclosed location.
Darko, notice the signs. He has the dagger. Why would he need that? The dagger, the
Yeah,
cloak and knife,
I do
right?
self protection.
Right? Why would you need that? Darko? You don't have one, right? I don't have one either.
I
I don't have.
don't know. I
Mm,
don't.
exactly. I haven't even spoken about the SpaceX stake that you control. That's why you keep getting calls from Elon. You know,
Let's not
that was just,
spread false rumor. So let's check for sure. How much higher than the IPO level is SpaceX right now?
let me share the screen quickly if that's helpful. Please.
And then the question is, what is our expectation for Anthropic? So they are 2 trillion. So officially, Elon is the first trillionaire, I think, right?
He is. Mhm. Can you see the screen?
Officially. Yes, yes.
So
So
the IPO price was what,
yeah, it was 135. So
135, and it's
it's
at
19%.
165.
It
Yeah,
went up to 175, 176 and 30 cents.
I know, but it's settled. So it's interesting. By the way, for the first 2 hours, it went straight up,
No.
right? And then it started its random walk up and down, and it lost some of the ground from the top level. Okay.
I
And
mean
so it's about 20% higher than, I don't know if my fuzzy math is right,
I
from
mean
the IPO price.
it was still a good buy for large institutions. I can imagine institutions buying hundreds of millions or even billions, uh, and settling for 20% in 24 hours.
Plus
Twenty
That's
twenty five
25%. Okay.
25% actually.
25. Yeah, I mean that's.
Okay. All right. So so do we expect the same for Anthropic
I'm not sure.
and OpenAI?
I don't. I don't expect it to happen. I think Elon played a smart card by going first. Because OpenAI and Anthropic, they're gonna go I think sometime in September, something like that, and they're gonna overlap a lot. So they're kind of going to share the market. And Elon went alone in terms of these giant IPOs, and it's crazy. I actually didn't expect this. I think it's over 2 billion, over 2 trillion evaluation right now.
Hmm.
That's crazy. you know I don't know. What do you think?
Don't you think they have more depth, Darko, in Anthropic, and because of that depth, uh, they might give him at least a tough competition, if not more.
Yeah, I
Although,
mean,
as much as I love Elon, Grok is nowhere. Nobody
Exactly.
talks about Grok as a frontier model, even.
See.
but you know what's the big advantage of SpaceX
Hmm.
is, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually think they're going to have like a merger where, and they already had a merger, I think, with the AI, the XAI, and they have this Colossus system. They're basically selling it now to Google and Anthropic. That's interesting. So they have a giant infrastructure, probably the largest AI infrastructure on Earth, and they will probably build it in space.
It's
Now,
So
that would be a game changer. And I hate the word game changer, but that would be really, now that would be
a
incredible.
far from reality right now, but I know Elon Musk is always chasing what's usually called near impossible.
I mean,
I really
yeah.
want to continue this conversation. I'm sorry. We are really close to the end, and maybe there could be a second part of the same conversation next week. But I'll let you two have some concluding remarks before we go
And
out.
we'll talk about our effort having to lose a sort of second brain and digital twin another time. Um, well, it is historical. The IPO of SpaceX is a historical moment in the history of business and capitalism. And I think that Elon Musk is an incredible genius. And what's incredible to me even more is that everybody hates him. Everybody hates him. Maybe it's unavoidable, but it's fascinating to me. Incredible. Not everybody, but everybody.
The way that he does business, I couldn't resist but jump in again. The way that he does business, he doesn't really. I don't know if he thinks as much about the economics part. He is a very firm believer in the way that he thinks about certain things, right? The way, who would have thought that there would be a reusable rocket? It was
yep.
far from reality at that point. Now it seems usual because he's doing that. The Boring Company, right? It was it feels like he's a cartoon director sometimes. He would think of weird things that never happened, but he's doing that at scale. He has huge customers, huge clients in the Middle East that are now implementing the Boring Company's strategy, and they're doing huge bores for tunnels and everything. Because imagine cities like New York, imagine cities like Dubai. This is like they're very
You know
densely
what?
populated.
Boring Company is probably the most boring of his companies, and probably the maybe the the most underappreciated. Maybe I should look at investing privately in it.
Exactly, because they have clients. I understand. I feel that Boring Company doesn't have Elon's focus right now. The day it gets back focus from SpaceX and a little bit he has more bandwidth, I think that would be the day that we would see everybody talking about it. But it's doing some really amazing things. That's what I'm going to say. I appreciate both of you joining. I know that you might have more points, but we have time constraints. So I'll thank you for joining and appreciate everybody who tuned in.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
Au
very
revoir.
much. Au revoir.